To upgrade TCMax from version 8 to version 9, you will need to run through the version 9 migration process. You should only run the migration steps one time, otherwise you risk duplicating data. When starting TCMax for the first time, you will be prompted to provide your database connection. The default connection is the local database. Clicking OK will provide you with an appropriate database connection. Once the database is selected, a message appears to inform you that the database does not exist. Clicking Continue will attempt to create the database. Once the database is created, a message box will ask you if you'd like to include demo data. This populates the items and users used for demonstrations. Since we are migrating existing data, we do not need demo data. We can click No. If we have not yet licensed this computer for TCMax, we will be asked if we would like to do that now. Clicking Continue allows us to operate in trial mode. Clicking License brings up the License Manager. On the License Manager screen, clicking the hyperlink displays a message box that helps you determine if your license key is a version 8 or version 9 license key. To obtain your version 9 license key, you will need your serial number or support ID and your company name as it reads on your license. On the License Manager, click Add Modify to license this computer. Open your web browser and navigate to soaringsoftware.com. Click the Sign In link. Click Create Account. Fill out the information on the form with your first name, last name, email address, desired username, and your password, which you must confirm. Optionally, you can also include your phone number and address. Select the checkbox that indicates you are an existing TCMax customer. Successfully entering your company name and serial number or support ID will join your account with your license upon registration. To submit the form, you must click the I am not a robot checkbox. You may be prompted to answer robot prevention questions. Follow the on-screen instructions to do so. Once submitted, an email will be sent to your inbox. You will not be able to log in until verified. To verify your email, click the link in the email or copy the URL and paste it into your web browser. Once verified, you can now log in. Click the Licensing Information menu option to view your version 9 license key. Copy the license information to the corresponding fields in the License Manager. We have provided Copy to Clipboard buttons to make this process easy. Once the Copy to Clipboard button is clicked, Ctrl-V will paste it in the selected field. When the information is correctly entered, a green checkbox will appear. Clicking Activate will license this computer. We can now close our web browser and License Manager and continue with TCMax. TCMax requires a shopcode to open. Since we will be importing information from version 8, we can create any shopcode to continue. Here, we type the word anything into the text box and click one of the Create Shopcode buttons at the bottom of the screen. The shopcode is added and checked. We can now click Save to continue. Since we did not load demo data, our database does not have any users. In order to create an administrative user, click Yes when prompted. We are presented with the barcode configuration screen. This will tell TCMax the difference between a user barcode and an item barcode. These settings can be adjusted later. In order to continue with the migration, we will observe the current settings and click Save to continue. Now, TCMax is asking for a new administrative user's information. To make things simple, we will enter 01 in each field and click Save.
Enter user ID.
With an administrative user saved in the database, we can log in with this user.
Enter password. Logged in.
Selecting File, Import Export, and using the administrative credentials to log in, we can access the Migrations tab to migrate our version 8 data.
Enter user ID. Enter password.
To start the migration process, we have to select a source and destination for our data. If the data we want to migrate is on an SQL server, we will need to make sure the SQL Server Radio button is selected and press the Source button, which will open the database connection screen. For this example, we are migrating an Access database, so we will select the Access Radio button and click the Browse button to select our Access database. Once selected, we need to move the raw data to our destination database. We do this by clicking Transfer Access Database. This will open the SQL Server Migration Assistant, which has been pre-configured for you. If your database is password protected, you will need to enter it when prompted. The default database password is capital S, lowercase e, r, v, I, c, 1, which we have displayed on the screen for you and entered into the command window. When the transfer is complete, we will need you to verify the source database by clicking the corresponding button. This process can take some time, during which Windows may think TCMax has stopped working. Do not close the window and wait at least 5 minutes before closing the application. If this process takes more than 5 minutes, the end of this video shows how to upload the database to Soaring software. Once verified, the Sync Data button enables. This will migrate information to our version 9 tables. Clicking the Sync Data button will ask you if you use toolchits in version 8. If you do not use toolchits or do not know what toolchits are, click No. When the sync is complete, a migration details screen opens to show you if there are any pieces of information TCMax had to add or drop for a successful migration. Right-clicking on each grid allows you to save this information to an Excel file for later reference, which will be located in your C, Users, Public, Public Documents, Soaring Software, TCMax, Reports folder. The next screen is the Migrate Special Options screen. This screen will assist you in moving certain pieces of data to the correct fields in version 9 based on the settings that you've used in version 8. Observe the thumbnail images to identify if any options were used. If you find an option that you've used in all or one of your shopcodes, select the correct shopcode and click the Migrate button associated with that option set. When finished with the special options, click Close. The last step on the migration screen is optional. Once we are done moving the information over, you can choose to remove the old version 8 data from your database. The Remove Old Data button removes your version 8 data from your destination database. Once the migration steps have been completed, you can clean up your database by deleting the temporary shopcode we created in order to start TCMax. From Settings, choose Sites and Shops. On this screen, we need to change our default shopcode because you cannot delete your default shopcode. Put a checkbox in the new shopcode from our migration and change your default shop on the right to any other shopcode than the one we would like to delete. Click Save when complete and navigate to the File, Database Maintenance screen and log in with your administrative user.
Enter user ID. Enter password.
Click the Shopcodes tab and select the shopcode you would like to delete. Clicking the Delete Selected Shopcode button will require you to type confirmation of your action exactly as displayed. You must include the period. In the event you have issues with migrating your database, you can upload your database to the Soaring Software website. Open your web browser to the soaringsoftware.com website and select the sign-in link. Once logged in, select the File Transfers link on the left menu. It is greatly encouraged to put a detailed description of the issues you are experiencing and the processes you are performing when experiencing these issues in the optional notes field. Click the Browse button to locate the database on your computer. Once the information has been entered and the database is selected, click Upload. When the upload is complete, you will be notified with a banner at the top of the screen. Once a Soaring Software staff member has been able to evaluate your database, you will be contacted by email. For more TCMax videos and tutorials, subscribe to our channel. For more up-to-date information on TCMax, you can also follow us on social media.